That fateful summer, I uncovered my grandmother's clandestine life as a spy, yet shockingly, it paled in comparison to the jaw-dropping secret I stumbled upon next. When I was young, I knew very little about her. When she came to visit, she'd sweep into town like a breeze, gone just as fast, always cloaked in an aura of intrigue. I was never sure if I was more curious or unnerved by her. The year was 1986. That summer was a haze of mystery that clung to me like damp air. I was 12, teetering on the edge of 13, my mind a restless whirl of curiosity and imagination. Grandma's house, a pristine sanctuary of order, was where it all began. Every item in her home had a place, each tagged with meticulous notes, names, origins, dates. Her calendars were a tapestry of detailed entries, her life an archive of precision. But that Christmas something was off. A key, oddly shaped and untagged, lay on her dresser. A sun catcher, equally unmarked, hung in the window, catching light in ways that felt wrong. And then there was the locked room in the basement, a room I'd never noticed before, hidden behind walls of glowing fish tanks. Grandma's exotic fish collection filled the basement with soft hums and bubbling water, but that door, unyielding and secretive, called to me. I couldn't shake it. The key, the sun catcher, the room they didn't belong in. Grandma's world of catalogued perfection. My mind churned with questions. What was she hiding? Why was that room locked? I needed answers, but I couldn't just ask. Grandma's sharp eyes missed nothing. So, I hatched a plan playing on her soft heart. "Grandma," I said, my voice dripping with rehearsed misery, "everyone's got an adventure this summer but me. Can I stay with you?" My pout was Oscar-worthy. She couldn't resist. The 6 months until summer dragged like a lifetime. I filled my diary with sketches of the key, theories about the room, and wild imaginings of what lay beyond that door. Treasure? Secrets? Something darker? By the time I arrived at Grandma's, my heart pounded with anticipation. I unpacked in a frenzy. My diary and notes sprawled across the guest room table like a detective's case file. That first evening, over dinner, Grandma mentioned a one-day World War II exhibit at the museum. "We could go if you'd like," she said, her voice warm but with a flicker of something I couldn't place. She also mentioned errands in the morning, a trip to the grocery store. My chance. The next morning, I feigned sleep as her footsteps creaked down the hall. "Good morning, sleepyhead," she teased, poking her head into my room. "Gonna sleep all day? I'll be back soon, breakfast before the museum." The front door clicked shut, and I sprang into action. Heart racing, I darted to her bedroom, snatching the mysterious key from her dresser. There, beside it, were small black stones, smooth and heavy, next to the sun catcher, now inexplicably off the window. I grabbed them all and bolted downstairs, the fish tanks casting eerie blue light across the basement. The locked door loomed ahead. I fumbled with the key, but it didn't fit. Frustration burned in my chest until I spotted a ratty shelf nearby, holding a keyring of old, mismatched keys. One by one, I tried them, my hands trembling. Finally, a click. The door creaked open. The room was a letdown, bare, save for a single, massive fish tank. No fish, just crystal clear water, a pump, and a filter, illuminated by a lone bulb overhead. Why lock an empty room? Why this tank? I had minutes before Grandma returned. I scanned the space, my eyes darting for clues. Nothing. Desperate, I pressed my hand against the tank's glass. Smoke or fog swirled around me, thick and disorienting. I was in a white room, vast and endless, my feet not quite touching the ground. My eyes felt heavy, like I'd just woken from a deep sleep. Panic clawed at me as I tried to move, my body weightless, unsteady. "Hello," I whispered, but my voice echoed strangely, as if it weren't mine. Silence pressed in, heavy and suffocating. Then, a jolt like the room itself shuddered. Suddenly I was standing on grass, sky above me, water shimmering nearby. Or was it water? The light was blinding, a white glare that swallowed details. Shapes moved, people maybe, but their whispers were faint, unintelligible. "Hello?" I called, louder each time, my voice rising in desperation. The whispers stopped. Silence again. Another jolt, and I was above it all, looking down, the scene a blur of light and shadow. Then nothing. I woke on the basement floor, gasping, my vision blurry. Whatever happened after that, I had no memory of, as I then found myself upstairs, laying on my bed. The clock read 8 a.m. Impossible. Hours should have passed. Grandma's voice floated down the hall. "Hey, sleepyhead, you gonna sleep all day?" She winked, her smile knowing. "Breakfast's ready. Hurry, we don't want to miss the exhibit." I stumbled out of bed, my mind reeling. Had I imagined it? The museum trip was a fog, the day a blur. I couldn't bring myself to return to the basement that summer. Fear and wonder warred within me, reshaping how I saw the world. I never saw Grandma again after that summer. Not until 2003, when my mother appeared at my door, her face heavy with news. "Your grandmother passed," she said, handing me a box. "This came for you today from her." My mind snapped back to 1986, to that basement, that tank. Mom shared a story I'd never heard. During World War II, Grandma worked in a top-secret munitions factory, assembling bomb warheads. Her artistic talent, her ability to draw anything with uncanny precision caught her boss's eye. He asked her to sketch schematics, but when she drew the entire bomb's design, she was fired for knowing too much. They shuffled her to logistics, but the story felt incomplete, like a puzzle piece missing its match. As I sat and listened to my mother talk about Grandma, I wished I'd spent more time with her, peeling back the layers of her mysterious life. When I was young, I knew very little about her. When she came to visit, she'd sweep into town like a breeze, gone just as fast, always cloaked in an aura of intrigue. I was never sure if I was more curious or unnerved by her, but her visits were magic. She brought gifts and trinkets, each one strange and fascinating, like relics from another world. Mom left, and I sat with the box, my heart pounding. The mystery of that summer had haunted me for decades. I opened it, expecting answers. Instead, I found the key, the sun catcher, and those black stones, nestled beside a note in Grandma's precise handwriting. Some doors are better left locked, and others maybe, worth opening. My breath caught. 1,000 new questions flooded my mind, each one heavier than the last. What had I touched in that tank? Where had I gone? And what did Grandma know that she never told me? Was my grandmother a time traveler?